Okay. Hey guys, welcome to another podcast with Duke, and today we're going to, like I said in the last podcast with our review of Labyrinth. Today we're going to be reviewing doing a podcast on John Carpenter's The Thing.
This movie was if you don't know what The Thing is, it is a movie it is a science fiction horror film from 1982, directed by John Carpenter. For those really, and of course distributed by Universal Pictures. And for those who don't know who John Carpenter is, he is also the director of Big Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness, They Live, Halloween, and The Fog. But and of course, this movie does star Kurt Russell, T.K. Carter, David Clennon, Keith David, and many others that we all know. And throughout the film, after we talk about the film, we're going to be kind of going to share some controversies with this TV cut, which we will kind of get to a little while. But for right now, we're going to explain the theatrical cut, and you're going to see what the TV cut is about. For if you don't know what like I said, we'll explain the TV cut for right now. But like I said, we're just going to be talking about the Thing. We're not going to be mentioning the 2011 prequel because we are aware of the 2011 prequel, but we're just not interested on mentioning or talking about it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, without further ado, let's get started talking about The Thing from John Carpenter.
Doom, doom. Doom, doom. The freaking music we hear several times in the film.
Yep, that's the first thing you hear. And of course, this movie takes place in Antarctica, where a Norwegian helicopter pursues a sled dog to an American research station. Upon arrival, the Americans witnessed the passenger accidentally blow up the helicopter in addition to himself. And the pilot fires a rifle and shoots at the Americans, but unfortunately they can't understand him and he is shot dead in self-defense by Station Commander Gary, played by the late Donald Moffat. And after that, we came across the American helicopter pilot R.J. McReady, played by Kurt Russell, and Dr. Copper, played by Richard Dysart, who somehow, first they were just having a little just a fun talk and conversation, but then after that, everyone left to let's just say they investigate the Norwegian base, and upon arrival they see charred ruins and frozen corpses, and they find the burnt corpse of a malformed humanoid, which they transfer to the American station. Now, if you don't know what the malformed humanoid is, that is what the Thing is, and that's if you want to know how that's made, how that happened, see the 2011 prequel. But for me, we're not going to see it.
Right. And that creature design of that dead, freaking thing is horrifying.
Yeah, especially for 1982. You're for the 80s, I should say. So of course, the biologist Blair Autopsies the remains, and they found a normal set of human organs, which is probably very creepy, to be exact. Very, very creepy.
Hmm. Yeah. And he's played by the late Wilford Brimley, who you people might know as the diabetes guy.
Yeah, he's like, wow, he's 85. He was 85. Dang, he was really old. Anyway, back to topic. So after the crew have had a little look at the thing, which is a very disgusting little corpse. Clark kennels the sled dog, but unfortunately, as you all know, for those who have seen the 2011 prequel, which we have not, like I said earlier, something terrible had happened with the something terrible has happened with the dog, and trust me, it escalates very, very quickly. It escalates quickly.
Yeah. If you love dogs, then I suggest you don't watch this scene if you're sensitive to seeing dogs getting killed.
Yeah, I mean, most horror films, did we all know, we do see a lot of animals being killed, but remember, they're all in movies. We don't see that in real life here. They're just doing it for like either for people who doesn't like who just for animal cruelty, but not for general purposes or anything like that. Um, so so after that unexpected unsettling transformation about that poor dog, unfortunately, this alerted the crew. This alerted the crew, uh, causing the and Childs uses a flamethrower to incinerate the creature. Of course, we see most horror films back then. Most horror movies back then have most horror movies nowadays just have you weld a rifle or a revolver or anything like that. But for most horror films back then, you just get like a flamethrower, like burn it alive, like burn it to a crisp. Get that out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, after that unexpected turn of events, Blair sees the dog thing and surmises that it is an organism that can perfectly imitate other life forms. So that's what the thing is about. It basically, you can't see the creature. You really can't. You really can't. But it can somehow imitate other life forms, and that life forms is the rest of the crew.
Oh boy. Yeah. I hope you guys don't hear that. That's my twin. That's my twin brother.
So after that, the Norwegian base has somehow recovered data. Data's recovered from the Norwegian base that leads the Americans to a very, very large excavation site, which contains a partially buried alien spacecraft. Which, of course, Norris estimate that it had been buried over 100,000 years, and a small human-sized dig site. So
Let me just explain to you guys. This movie's a horror film. Apparently, parents let their kids watch it back then. Uh, not a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah. This thing is very creepy. but the 2011 prequel just doesn't even compare. Like, I know it's supposed to be a prequel for what has happened, but no, I just can't quite see it.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the next night, we see, um, well, Blair. Before that, Blair had grown very paranoid after a computer simulation that indicates the creature could assimilate all life on Earth in a matter of years. So the group implements controls to reduce the risk of assimilation, and unfortunately, things started to escalate even more quickly as the remains of the malformed humanoid assimilate and isolated Bennings. But Windows interrupts the progress, and MacReady burns the Bennings thing. Trust me, that is very creepy. That was a very creepy. That was very creepy. I've seen someone being burnt alive, and then you hear someone sounding like some kind of whale, whatever the heck that was called, or whatever the heck that was. Some kind of, I don't know what that was. I don't know. It sounded like
Yeah, horrifying. Hearing that
yeah,
kind of what, aside from the hands, otherwise looks human.
yep. Yep. Unfortunately, the thing has gotten another one that unfortunately barely had more screen time. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Bennings. So after that, the team imprisons Blair in a tool shed after he had sabotaged the vehicles and killed the remaining sled dogs, and also destroyed the radio to prevent escape from happening. So, and of course, Copper suggests testing for infection by comparing the crew's blood against uncontaminated blood held in storage. But after learning that the blood stores had been destroyed, the men unfortunately lose faith in Gary's leadership, and of course, MacReady takes command.
Yeah. I don't like that scene where Blair is destroying everything, yelling. It's horrifying to watch.
And of course, speaking of Blair, we have a very unexpected scene. He started going a little bit of a increase. He started to get a little crazy um, from destroying everything with an axe. And whoa, I already explained it already. Blair has already gone insane. Not like Jack Nicholson from The Shining or anything like that.
Right. We also, well, maybe let's just get to that later. But later on, we see as something in the shed with him. No, it's not a thing. And you'll find out what I mean when we get to it.
Yep. So after that, after a crazy psychotic Blair, gone crazy gone crazy. Like I said, MacReady takes command. So he, Windows, and Nows had found Fudge's burnt corpse, and summarize he committed suicide to avoid assimilation. Nope, I got nothing.
I don't think we're supposed to say those two words on like YouTube.
I think we're not supposed to say that. I think we're not supposed to. I'm not supposed to. Why did I say that in the first place? But again, it's a horror film from the 80s. So, what do you think this is going to be? Of course, okay, anyway, back to where I was saying, or getting back on track. Windows returned to the base while MacReady and Niles investigate MacReady's shack. So during the return, Niles abandons MacReady in a snowstorm, believing he has been quote unquote assimilated by the thing after finding his torn clothes in the shack. But little do we know, in reality, MacReady's fine. He's fine. He's fine though. He's fine. So he's not actually killed or anything.
And then he goes to check on Blair in the shed, and
Yeah.
and what do we see next to hanging next to Blair? Flip.
Do I want to know?
Oh gosh.
Oh, for a second, I see that news. No, we don't want to see that here. No, we don't.
No one points that out. No one in the movie points that out.
No, they didn't. How come no one in the 80s had pointed that out? Now, after that, we found that Norris, of course, the team debate whether to allow MacReady inside, but of course he had to break in and hold the group at bay with dynamite. But during the encounter, we see that Norris had suffered a heart attack. And here comes one of the most unsettling scenes of all. And if you think Alien or Halloween or Jaws would have those type of moments where that makes you scared or makes you straight out scared so terribly, or like The Exorcist or whatever, you think wrong. You think wrong. Because as Copper was about to defibrillate Norris, Norris's chest transforms into a large mouth, meaning that the thing got him too. Oh, it was a very terrifying scene, just hearing a Copper scream in pain and
his arms getting bitten off.
Yep. And what's also worse is that the Norris thing had his head detached and attempt to escape, but of course, MacReady came in to save the day by also having his own flamethrower by burning it. Flamethrowers are always a good thing, though.
But then we get the head coming off.
Oh, John Carpenter really knows how to make good films back then in the 80s, and I guess The Thing is the one that's also very, very creepy.
I mean, Norris's head coming off is really gross to look at.
Yeah, it's gross, but again, it's for the 80s. It's for the 80s, and they are kind of creepy. So yeah. After that, we come to the. We all thought we want to recover from that unexpected transformation from Norris. Well, you think wrong, because here comes another scene that is actually, unfortunately, another one that's actually very creepy, and I think I got scared by that when I saw it. And basically, MacReady proposes testing blood samples from each and every one of the survivor with a heated piece of wire, and has each man restrained. And of course, but unfortunately, he was forced to kill Clark after he lunges at MacReady with a scalpel. So, I gotta say, the blood testing is actually made me flinch, because you actually see someone's finger getting cut and you see blood coming out. Um,
Yeah.
that felt so realistic. I really flinched at that.
Mm-hmm. Freaking Norris Spiderhead.
Yeah. That was a very creepy one. That was a man. The Thing really gives us a lot of creepy. John Carpenter really gave us a lot of creepy moments here in that movie.
Yeah, but that scene where like this Norris Spiderhead's like trying to crawl out the door, then Palmer's like, "You've got to be bleeping kidding me."
Yep, pretty much. Well, like I said, the blood sample is very creepy, um, but not to the point where we found another creepy moment, like I said earlier. And well, um, uh, before we back to the blood test scene. Well, just as MacReady was about to test out Palmer's blood, and after he talked to Gary this, you're the only one that could have got that blood. Will do you last? Unfortunately, well, the Thing got Palmer once again, and trust me, that gets more disgusting than ever. How do I describe it? The Palmer Thing literally had his head split open, which I will not show you because YouTube does not allow that here, or otherwise this podcast would get age restricted. After the Palmer thing somehow is after the Palmer thing somehow broke free of its bonds, everyone started panicking, and unfortunately, poor Windows got instantly infected, which forced MacReady to incinerate both of them. Unfortunately, and yep, poor Windows. Windows can't even catch a break today. He just really can't. He really can't even get a break.
Yeah.
After that crazy chaos, MacReady tests out Gary's blood for that he promised. And here comes one of the famous lines. I think that actually gave me a good giggle. I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this flipping couch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. Gary doesn't want to spend the rest of the winter tied to that couch all day long. That was good. That was a good line. So, as we're heading to the last few minutes of the movie, Childs was left on guard while the others go to test Blair. They found that he has escaped and used vehicle components to assemble a small flying saucer, which they had destroyed. But upon their return, they noticed that Childs was missing, and the power generator was unfortunately destroyed, which leaves the men without heat. And without the heat, everyone would be instantly freezing to death so quickly. And, well, with that, MacReady speculated that with no escape left, the Thing somehow intends to return to hibernation until the rescue team arrives. And MacReady, Gary, and Nose agreed that the Thing can't be allowed to escape, and they all together set explosives to destroy the station. And the Thing got, once again, more victims. Who would have thought? This time, the Blair Thing killed Gary, and Nose disappears. Poor Gary. The last thing that Gary wanted to wished is that he didn't want to spend the rest of the winter tied to that couch all day long and all night.
And what does he get once he gets freed? Freaking Blair Thing digs his fingers into his skin.
Oh gosh, that made me flinch, and that eerie music too. That was really, really creepy. But not to the point where we also see the Thing's final form. It is in nothing but an enormous creature that somehow broke the detonator. But MacReady wasn't ready to give up. He was not ready to give up. He tossed the dominate. He thrown the dynamite with one of his famous one-liners. Yeah, F you too. Until the dynamite not only destroyed the station but also destroyed the Blair Thing.
Yeah.
And after that, it seems that the movie somehow kind of feels like it ended, but as MacReady sits by the burning remains, Childs somehow returned, claiming he got lost in the storm while pursuing Blair. Unfortunately for the two who were exhausted and slowly freezing to death, they acknowledge the futility of their distrust, and they share a bottle of whiskey, which is basically a bottle of alcohol. And the movie just ends like that.
Yeah, the final shot just shows the burning base. Doom, doom. Doom, doom.
Well, somehow, MacReady and Childs survives. And I think off screen, the rescue team arrived, and then somehow they got him back. They got them back. That's what I think the movie should have ended like.
Yeah.
So that was The Thing from John Carpenter, and honestly, for a 1982 film, it is actually really, really well made. Actually, really good. Now, granted, as far as I hear, it actually once was released when the movie was released for the first time. It was released with negative reviews. The critics somehow praised like the special effects but unfortunately they criticized the visual repulsiveness. But others found the characters poorly realized, and of course, the movie grossed $19.6 million during its theatrical run. Many reasons for that have been cited for its failure to impress audiences. Competition from films like E.T., which offered an optimistic view from alien visitation, and yeah. Even though The Thing failed, it's still a really good film. But it's not as good as what we are going to talk about right now, as I promised.
Yeah.
Get ready to get a little pissed off, because we are going to mention the TV cut of The Thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what the TV cut is, it is basically a TV airing of John Carpenter's The Thing. But unfortunately, like most TV cut films like Shrek, Die Hard 2, or whatever movie you might seen that had gotten edited, there were some scenes that they had to cut out slash or they also had to edit in or add in. That example being the blood test scene had ominous music in before I think it stopped. Right after the Palmer thing revealed itself. And of course, well, it's not just that. They had to cut out a few scenes, such as Palmer's face disintegrating or whatever, because I think I don't know why, but I think they had to cut it out because they want to make it not less gruesome and less less gruesome for audiences to see, for audiences who are seeing it on their telly. And of course, but it's not just that. They also had to re-edit some of the lines as well. Like Gary's infamous line had to be switched to saying, "I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this stinking couch." And as RJ was about to throw the stick of dynamite to the Thing, he said, "Blast you too." But that's not the worst case. You know what else was the worst thing of all that makes 000 sense?
They changed the ending.
And what was the ending exactly?
It shows the dog thing running through, not the grotesque version. I mean, like the real looking dog running through Antarctica with like this narrator describing the thing could be right next to you or whatever.
And what's worse is that the TV cut somehow kind of made I think they made RJ and Childs freeze to death without being saved. So no, you see what it is now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
why would you I don't know, I'm sorry for the TV cut, but why would you do that? Why would you air the TV cut of The Thing? Like there's no like, and like when the ending it's just going to end like that in a cliffhanger. Like why would you do that? It's like there's no sequel there. We don't have a sequel made in development. That's one thing I know. And one thing I also know is that we don't, like I said, we don't have a sequel for The Thing. The only sequel that we got was the 2011 prequel. And of course, that TV cut just kind of almost ruined the movie. But on the bright side, at least for most people, we've seen a theatrical cut. So thank goodness I didn't see the TV cut at all. I mean, why would I see it until right now?
Yeah.
Well, so like I said, do we recommend this movie? If it's good for you, if you want to see it, yes. But if there's one movie that contains something that's not suitable for dog lovers, I suggest not seeing it. But that's not the point where I'd say it's a terrible film. The TV cut is terrible. Tell that to the TV cut. And well, as far as I don't know what else to say, but I guess that's kind of it.
Yeah. Okay. Should we do our next podcast? I don't know, like 2 days later, or
Maybe, yeah.
like on Sunday, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
All right. And what movie should we review on Sunday?
Not so sure because there's a lot of movies here to choose. I really don't know what movies I can think of.
Well, maybe I'll make a poll. Maybe I can make a poll, and by Sunday, the movie that gets the most votes we can review on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That sounds like a good idea. So that could work.
I'm good. So maybe I'll do A&O if you know what that's short for. The Mist. Freaking we already reviewed Finding Nemo. Well, Shark Tale, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe Shark Tale, but that depends on what people are choosing.
Well, I'll try to think of the other two, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for this podcast. We'll see you all on again on Sunday night, which is
Yeah. See you there.
Bye. Bye everyone.